Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you for taking the time to join us today on the iFunds Q3 Investor Call, where we'll be delving deep into what has been happening over the last 3 months in terms of how the funds have performed and any other updates that we may have had. I would like to welcome Marianne to take us through. But before that, we have a big team with us today. So I'd like to invite everyone to just quickly introduce themselves, starting with Eric Karibu.
My name is Eric from ICT Department.
Hi, my name is Samia from Head of Client Relations.
Hello, my name is Christopher from Funds Department.
Hi, my name is Azan. I'm a fund investment analyst.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marianne. I'm the fund administrator.
Hi, everybody. My name is Neema Jackson Onyancha. I'm Funds Operations Associate.
Hi, my name is Anna from Fund Operation.
Hi, my name is Irene. I'm from Advisory and.
My name is Frank. I'm from Advisory and Profit.
And I am Winfrida Makuru from Marketing, Brand and Communications. That being said, it's a big team because we're all excited with how the funds have performed in the last quarter. And now I'd like to welcome Marianne to break everything down for us.
Thank you so much. So this is our iFunds Q3 investor call, and we'll take you through the agenda, which will primarily be, we'll touch base on the iDollar IPO performance. We'll talk about the iFunds performance, and then we'll take you through the portal tutorial, and then we'll go to Q&A. So as we start off, we had our interim reports that we shared to your emails on August 25th. You can be able to cross-check that, and also you can be able to review them on our websites. They are readily available. When it comes to our annual reports, they should be ready by, say, April, mid-April. You should be able to receive them in April 2026. So iDollar Fund is basically our baby fund because we just recently launched it during the month of July. We opened in July 8th and we closed on 25th. So that was a 3-week period. Our target was to raise $1 million. But as you can see, we surpassed our expectation and we went to 6,136,550. So the subscription rate was 614%. This is the very first fund to be launched in Tanzania, and we are very happy and proud to premiere and be part of this as we take you through the investment journey. So now we'll just stay back on the iDollar IPO. For the investors who are able to join during IPO, remember we say we have a 3-month lock-in period. So that's ending on 23rd of October, which is next week on Thursday, I believe. So if you're any of the investors who came through during IPO, after 23rd of October, you're now free to issue us any instruction. If it's redemption, either partial, if you want to do full redemption, you can be able to do so. Now taking you through the iDollar performance. As you can see, on the previous slide, we mentioned that we closed at 6,136,550. End of September, we're already up to 10,285,743.61. This is a 67.61% increment in our assets under management. iDollar Fund is a really good fund and it caters, because you see on the asset allocation, 100% of the funds as of end of September were placed in the FD. But iTrust was part of we were the organizers and advisors for CRDB Sukuk. So what has happened right now, we have placed most of our funds in the CRDB Sukuk. What you're going to see at the end of October in our fund fact sheet is that the asset allocation, now most of the funds would have been allocated in the CRDB Sukuk. Coming down to our performance, as you can see, we have greatly outperformed our benchmark. Our benchmark is at 100.5609. And as of end of September, we were at 100.8154, our NAV being at 100.8154. So we have greatly outperformed our benchmark, and we believe, as per the returns that we can see there, since inception annualized is at 0.82%. Since inception annualized, it's at 5.41%. Year to date and annualized, it's 0.82%. Year to date annualized is at 5.41%. Right now, if you go to a bank and you want them to give you an dollar deposit, the most they could probably give you is between 4 to 4.5%, depending on how much you're holding. But then the uniqueness about investing in a dollar fund is that the minimum investment is $1,000. So if you have $1,000, if you have $100,000, you all get the same return, which you're seeing there is 5.41%. And then iCash is also a money market fund, just like iDollar, but now this is primarily investing in TZS. As you can see, our AUM grew up by 21.63%. This has gone to 33,788,447 to 68.01. On our asset allocation part, 73.1% was all being held in the treasury bonds, 19.1% in the corporate bonds, and we had cash, which is 7.5%. Now, this is not idle cash, it's actually in a fixed deposit. So all this investment is actually earning. If you look at our performance, the benchmark is at 107.6915. The fund is currently performing at 109.6669. So this is a really good rate. And we believe over time, it's going to be a bigger gap between the benchmark and how the fund is performing. So when it comes to the return, since inception and annualized is 9.67%. Since inception annualized is 11.72%. Year to date and annualized is 8.80%. Year to date annualized is 11.77%. So if you go again to a bank and they offer you a fixed deposit, it will probably be between the range of 10% to 11%, which again will be locked for a period of up to a year, for example. So it means you cannot exit at any point. Remember, iCash is very liquid in the sense that you can exit at any time, and doesn't have any fees. So exit is free. You can enter at any time as compared to the deposits, and there's also no withholding tax. Then we'll go to our income fund. Our income fund, which is our bond fund, but now has monthly payouts. We started doing our payouts in August. So far we have done 3 payouts. And how it works, it's basically the gain the fund has received during the month. We pay from an average of 80 to 90%. So say 85% is what we've been paying out to our investors, which I really believe is a good, significant amount that can be able to cater for the needs of our investors. If you look at the size of the fund, AUM grew up by 11.49%, which is 13,765 to 49,190.95. If you look at the asset allocation, primarily 92.9% is being held in treasury bonds, and then the fixed deposits, which we've labeled as cash, is at 7.1%. In terms of our return on the benchmark, we are still outperforming the benchmark, as the benchmark is at 109.2670, and the fund is having a return of 110.8556. Then when it comes to the return, since inception and annualized, is 10.86%. Since inception annualized is 13.16%. Year to date and annualized is 9.85%. Year to date annualized is 13.16%. And then ISA fund, which is also in terms of investments, it's a sister fund to iIncome, if you can say so. The only difference is that there's no monthly payout in this particular fund. So in terms of the AUM, the size of the fund, it went up by 5.17%, and that is 9,642,340,229.4. Allocation, as you can see, primarily most of our investments have gone to the treasury bonds, which is 99.4%. And then the cash, which is held at the deposit, is 0.6%. So here, we believe in terms of our benchmark, we believe that our fund is going to outperform the benchmark. As you can see, there's a really small gap between 110.3112 to 106.758. So over time, in the next couple of months, ISA Fund should be able to outperform its benchmark. The returns of since inception and annualized is 10.31%. Since inception annualized is 12.50%. Year to date and annualized is 9.79%. Year to date annualized is 13.09%. And then we'll go to one of our balanced funds, which is Iman, Sharia Compliant Balanced Fund. Now for Iman Fund, in terms of the size in the last quarter, it went up by 0.25%. This is a size of 13,825,973,528.21. And as you can see on the asset allocation bit, 51.7% as at the end of being held in the fixed deposit, 31.7% was being held in the Sukuk, 4.8% was in cash, the deposits, then 11.8% was in equities. As we discussed in a that we are waiting for CRDB to close so that we can park our investments in Sukuk, the same concept with Iman. Once we had closed on CRDB Sukuk, most of the investment in the fixed deposit have gone to the Sukuk. That 51.7% has greatly reduced because it will be allocated in the CRDB Sukuk. Also something to note is that we also placed in our first ever Sukuk issuance, which was Zanzibar. And then if we look at the performance in regards to the benchmark, our benchmark is at 107.2158, and how the fund performed as of the end of September was at 133.1273. So in terms of returns, the fund since inception and annualized was at 33.13%. Since inception annualized was at 40.17%. Year to date and annualized was at 32.98%. Year to date annualized was at 44.09%. So I believe in terms of performance, Iman Fund is really performing very well, because if you look at the concept of volatility, yes, it is volatile, but over time, it has really outperformed its benchmark. And of course, people who would encourage them to invest here is someone who can, of course, absorb some level of risk because of the volatility in share price, as you can see on the graph. And then now we'll go to iGrowth, which is the other conventional balanced fund. The AUM grew significantly by 99.96%, which is 33,340,415.05. If you look at the asset allocation, 63.6% were all held in equities. We have up to 15.8% in bonds, and then cash, which is 20.6%. Again, this is not idle cash, it's actually earning in the bank. So iGrowth Invest have a blue chip stocks. We are looking at the likes of CRDB and NMB. That's why if you look at our performance vis-a-vis the benchmark, it has really outgrown the benchmark. From 109 or 5.5572, the fund closed at 134.893891. So in terms of the return, since inception and annualized was at 34.39%. Since inception annualized was at 41.7%. Year to date and annualized was 33.78%. Year to date annualized was at 45.16%. So now if we compare how iGrowth performed during the month of September, was different from how it closed from the month of August. If you look at this particular slide, you'll see that during the month of September, Tanzania All Share Index went down by 5.56%. This is from 5,420.04 to 5,118.80. And if you look at how iGrowth performed, it went down from 136.6972 to 134.3891. This is a downside of 1.69%. which basically indicates that we are constantly doing portfolio reallocation and try to mitigate as much risk as possible so that our investors can earn from the investment in iGrowth. The NAV went slightly down, but if we compare it with the overall markets, this was a really good indication in terms of the performance of iGrowth. Yeah, so these were yesterday's prices. iCash was at 110.1754. The return was, since inception, is 10.17%. iIncome is at 111.4103. The return is at 11.41%. iGrowth is at 134.9913. Return 34.99. Iman at 133.6229. The return was 33.62. iSave at 110.8836 and the return at 10.88%. iDollar 100.9526 and the return is 0.95%. Thank you, Winnie.
Yes, thank you very much, Marianne. That was very insightful, and I'm sure people are very excited. And just in case you have any questions in the chat, please type them and we'll get to them. As we're waiting for the tutorial of the portal to be set up, I'll just like to invite any of our investors in case they need to either invest in the funds or redeem. There's a simple way that they can do that, and that is through our customer portal. We're just setting that up so that you can get a live tutorial of how you can do that. Just bear with us for a minute, and then we shall welcome Samia.
Thank you, Winnie. So like Winnie said, we have an online portal, which basically shows you all your holdings you have invested by Antrust Finance Limited. Not only can you view your holdings, you can also upload your receipts to show where you have invested in the funds or the shares. You can also redeem by our portal. You do not need to fill out any forms for redemption. You can just simply log into the portal and redeem funds. We're just setting up our online portal so we can show you how to go about it.
Sure.
As we're waiting for that, we have one question from the chat. And it says, thank you very much for the presentation. Apart from CRDB and NNB, which other stocks is iGrowth investing in?
Okay, so apart from the likes of CRDB and NMB, we mentioned that we're investing in blue chip stocks. So here we also have Tanga Cement, we have Vodacom, and we're also holding some of the cross-listed shares like KCB and Jubilee.
Thank you for that. And I think now we are sorted, and please keep the questions coming. We will get to them after a brief presentation on how the portal works. So Samia and Eric, Karibun.
All right, so this is our website. It is very simple, itrust.co.tz. So once you upload our website, there is two ways you can go to your portal. Number one is right here, login, or even if you click on sign up now, right there, it will still take you the same page right here, sign up now. So if we click here, so even if you're an individual who wants to open an account at iTrust, the investment account, we can click here and open an account with us just by simply putting in your details, contact details, your NIDA, and verify your NIDA. So for those who have already opened an account with iTrust and you're logging in for the first time, you will simply put the email address registered with iTrust and click on forgot password. When you forgot password, you'll insert your email. You'll receive an email in your password in your email. You can reset and continue. Since you've already done that, we're going to go ahead and log in right now. So a colleague here, Eric, who is logging in, he is an existing client of iTrust. He's going to put in the email that he has registered with us and the email, the password he created in order to log in. Once it inserts its password, it will take him to another page for an OTP. OTP is simply one-time password. It's a two-factor authentication, so it's a good safety measure that we have. And even if you have traveled outside of Tanzania, the OTP can come through your WhatsApp, email, or phone number. So you don't have to worry. Wherever you are in the world, you're able to access our our portal. Yeah. Oh. What's your-
It's nice.
Okay, so finally you're in. This is how your page will look like. So you have your customer number. This is a unique number that belongs to you as you. So it's good whenever you do any transfer, in the transfer details, you can mention your customer number. So it identifies that the fund sent belongs to you. So over here, when you click your net worth, this will show all the funds that you've invested with us, your total portfolio. Be it shilling, even if you're in iDollar, it will show right here underneath the shilling. So when we go further down, it gives you a breakdown of this amount that we have. So this shows that it's invested in funds and in shares. So this is the total amount up there. Breakdown is further here, funds and shares. If you go further down, it shows you exactly which fund you have invested in. Be it iGrowth, iCash, which shares have you invested in. And even if you have bought treasury bonds or corporate bonds via us, it will show right here on this line by scrolling here. Okay, if you go further down, it will show you what is the unique price of today for each and every fund that we hold. Currently, we have 5 funds in shilling and 1 in dollar. So it shows you what is the unit price. So you see, iDollar, like Marianne mentioned, is our baby. So it's still at 100.95. It's a good time to come in and get maximum returns out of it. Okay, so the one thing that we are encouraging all our clients to do right now in order to have a seamless investment journey end to end, whenever you want to invest in your funds, you come here, click on funds, click on purchase. Once you click on purchase, we'll select which fund you want to invest in. Such as, for example, if I want to come to iGrowth. Right now, iGrowth price has gone down, so I think it's the right time for me to come in to get more units. So I'll put in my 100 million. Right, so I'll place my order by clicking on submit. It says purchase successfully. Thank you. Then go ahead and tell me. I have now 3 different options to invest. I can either do USSD push. So I'm allowed to go via Mix Varias, either M-Pesa or M-Pesa. Once I click here, I'll put in my phone number. I'll get alert on my phone number to put my password and the transaction is done. The second way I can do is via TIS transfer. I can do a TIS transfer from my bank to NBC Bank to iGrowth Fund account with the account number right here, and I can submit my proof of payment. After I've already done the payment, I can upload my receipt over here. I'll put the amount I have invested. I'll select the file. I have my receipt over there. And 1 second, let me show you. Submit, choose file. Okay. So I'll just put in my receipt here if I have one, and I'll click on submit, it will go on successfully. So the same way, if you want to redeem your funds, you simply come here to withdraw, click on withdraw, put the amount you want to withdraw, you write in your 10,000 maybe. Submit, and the request will go back to the funds department. So it's very easy to use, and you can view your reports, you can buy shares, you can sell your shares over here via orders. So it is a very easy to use platform. I welcome you all for any questions.
Thank you very much, Samia, for that. We have a few questions in the chat. Just because we are on the portal, there have been a few questions with regards to when exactly the portal will be friendly for joint account holders, either to sign in, for both joint account holders to have independent access to the portal. And then we also had another one. Yes, hello, when will the portal be able to show the holding for a parent and a child together? And then when will you allow minors to access the portal? Not necessarily be able to withdraw, but at least to view their holdings. So let's address first the one for the joint account. And then after that, we can do the minor.
Okay, so as far as the joint account is concerned, if your account right now is either one to sign, one of the person can access the portal as we speak right now, and you can do all the functions like an individual can, but since either one to sign. For both to sign and minor, we are coming up with an updated version of our portal. Hopefully before year end, we'll keep you updated, but something good is coming, and you will be able to view your holdings for minor, your joint, your company, everything under one roof. So don't worry, we are coming up with some updated things.
Yeah, thank you, Samia. Not to give too much away. The year has not ended and we still have a lot up our sleeve. But keeping it to, or rather going back to the iFunds, we have a couple of questions with regards to the presentation. And one of them was when we'll share the presentation. I'll just like to let you know that this session is recorded, and keeping true to iTrust's level of transparency, this will be posted on our YouTube page so anyone can access it at any given time. So if you are unable to fully engage or someone you know has missed the session, please let them know that it will be up on our YouTube page on Monday. And now going back to the funds, can I request for my investments, say in iCash, to be used to buy shares?
Yes, sure. So basically what you can do is just request for redemption, and then the same amount you can transfer it to the brokerage, and then you're able to issue investment instructions to buy shares.
Okay, and then will there be an AGM?
Yes, we will have an AGM after we have closed the year. So far, we launched in December, so we're basically like 10 months old. Once we have finished the entire year, then we'll be able.
Apart from equities and bond investment, are these funds investing in any ETD instruments?
I'd assume you're talking about ETFs. Essentially, an ETF is a mutual fund, but the difference is an ETF is a listed instrument. As of now, none of our funds are invested in any ETF that are out there right now. Yeah.
Thank you, Azan. And then someone wishes to know how the iGrowth net worth is calculated, as net asset value, NAV, is normally volatile and changes value every day or frequently. And of lately, it has been lower than the actual investment principal. Can you help us? I know there'll be more people asking about iGrowth, so
Yes, sure.
break it down for us.
So basically, iGrowth is balanced in the sense that it's holding both equities and it's also holding bonds. The reason why you're seeing it's very volatile and the prices are changing on a day-to-day basis is because the moment, for example, we mentioned the likes of CRDB and NMB, the price changing, it's going to impact the price of the particular fund. And as you explained, for the past month, the Tanzania All Share Index went down by 5.5%. That's why you're seeing that impact in the movement of prices. But when it comes to iGrowth, it still didn't move much. It only moved down by 1.69% because we're not only holding few stocks, remember it's a wide portfolio of stocks, and at the same fund, we're still holding government bonds. So there is volatility, yes, but because iGrowth investors are long-term investors, our investment trajectory is that a few months down the line, the NAV is really going to go up, and you're now going to be able to reap off the interest and the profits.
Thank you, Marianne. And then, as a side note, again, I also encourage if you have questions on all things iTrust related, you can also ask about them. And here we have one question that asks, why did iTrust withdraw from DSE app, and how will it affect customers who tend to buy directly from with DSE? I would like to invite, I know I'm putting you on the spot, Frank, the head of brokerage and advisory, to just give us an in-depth explanation on what has been happening. Okay, Frank.
Thanks, Wayne. So we are doing an upgrade of our experience and our customer experience with DSE. Once that has been done, the clients will be able to use their app in DSE as they're used to. Currently, while we are going on with the upgrade, we are currently out of the MTP. Realizing that all our clients now have access to continue trading seamlessly through 3 different ways. Number one, they can do the trading through our mobile trading app that is currently available on Play Store. You can log in, set up an account. If you already have an account, you can place your order, and your execution, the trade execution, can be done seamlessly. The number 2 option is the web portal, which Samia has already explained. You can place an order through the web portal. And the number 3 option is you can transfer money to our bank account and email us instructions, and your order will be able to be executed. Once the upgrade has already been done with DSE, then we should be able to resume our activities with this.
Thank you, Frank. And I know you've let the cat out of the bag by mentioning our app. We have a question that says, when do we expect to get the iTrust app? And we just want to let you know that we are in the testing phase. So while it is up, it will be ready soon. But at the moment, you can download it, as Frank said, and you'll be able to easily view your holdings and conduct a few transactions here and there. But don't worry, once it's ready, we will let you know. And Frank, while I have you on the spot, just again to let you know on all things iTrust that are happening, apart from the success of the iFunds that we've seen this last quarter, I'd just like to invite Frank to let us know about the 2 transactions that we have done, or rather that are ongoing. Karibu sana, Frank.
So thanks, Win. So we are currently the transaction advisors for 2 transactions. One is the TCB Star bond, a medium-term note program that was opened on 17th of September. It's closing tomorrow. So whoever is interested to invest as investors, they are allowed to invest and participate from now up to tomorrow. The application will be closing tomorrow, and we should be able to have the bond listed mid-November. It's a 5-year bond that is paying a coupon of 13.5, payable quarterly after every 3 months. We were the lead transaction advisor and sponsoring broker for that particular transaction. But we are also currently doing the Tanga Cement rights issue and equity issuance, intending to raise around 204 billion. by way of rights issue for the Tanga Cement shareholder. So that is only open for the existing shareholders of Tanga Cement. And we expect the exercise to close on 24th of this month, next week on Friday. The price per share is 1,600, while the market is around 2,000. So it's an exclusive offer to the existing shareholder. And if you are an existing shareholder, we are urging you to subscribe, take advantage of the price, and take advantage of the opportunity for you to be able to increase your number of shares and not be diluted in the rights issue. So those are the current two transactions that we are currently handling, while IDOLA and the other transactions of the fund management are going. That's it on our side.
Thank you very much, Frank. As we're continuing to take questions, I would like to continue urging you that we still have some time. So please feel free. This is the opportunity for our investors, that is you, to be able to have access to the iTrust team, the people who actually manage the funds. So in case you have any question, please feel free to ask us. And again, keeping true to our transparency, we will address them. And for those who are having trouble with regards to accessing the portal, we are responding to you, but please share your phone number and we'll give you a call as soon as we finish the call to check what is happening and make sure you have access to it. As we're going on, I'd like to ask Azan to put up our contact details so that in case anyone is having trouble reaching us, they can give us a call, send us an email. You can come. We love seeing you guys. So please come visit us at our offices in Masaki, in Dar es Salaam. And yes, so we would like to, we'll have our contacts displayed there. And please, we would also like to invite you to follow us on social media for any updates that we usually give. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or currently known as X. And for the fun parts of the iTrust team, we're also on TikTok. So you can see us there. Yeah, so we'd like to see if there are any more questions. So we'll just give it a minute as we're waiting for anyone else who has, again, if you have a question, please do let us know. But in the meantime, there were some people who missed the beginning of the session. So I'd just like to invite you again to tune in or watch the video, the recording for today on our YouTube, and that will be available on Monday. But in case anyone would like us to highlight something, you can let us know, and we will clarify it for you. I would like to just remind you that if you have any question, please type it in the chat and we'll respond to it. But For any other questions as well, we have a very extensive website that delves into different aspects of iTrust Finance. So in case you might want to learn more, please feel free to go to our website and get more information. David Nkama, we see that your hand is raised. May you please send us a message in the chat? Thank you. We have a couple of questions to finish off the session. And one of the attendees would like to know a bit more about iGrowth Fund and Iman Fund. Marianne, if you could just walk us through that.
Yes, please. Yeah, so iGrowth is a conventional balanced fund. It basically invests in both equities and fixed income, which is basically treasury bonds. It has a medium risk in the sense that due to the equities component, prices tend to change both upwards and downwards in regards to how the market is performing. So as you can see, since we launched in December 2024, we have gone up by 34%. So this is 34.39% in a period of up to less than 10 months. So we would like to encourage someone who has medium risk, they can be able to easily invest in iGrowth as compared to you going straight to invest in shares if you're not able to necessarily absorb that level of risk. For the current investors, if you see the fund fact sheet for end of August, our NAV has dropped from 136 to 134. If you go to the next slide, where we have shown how iGrowth has performed vis-a-vis the Tanzania All Share Index, it went from 5,420.04 to 5,118.80. So this is a downside of 5.56%. But if you compare it with how iGrowth performed, it went down by only 1.6%. This is from 136.6972 to 134.3891. So yes, it did go down, but iGrowth is for a long-term investor. And as per our investment trajectory, we know that this the price is going to shoot up a few months down the line. So we'd encourage someone, in fact, if it goes down to 134, this is a good time to enter because it means you're going to get more units. So this is a time to reduce the average and you can as well put more money here. So there's nothing to worry about. We are constantly relocating our portfolio to make sure that we minimize risk as much as possible. And then if you go to Iman Fund, Iman Fund is now the Sharia compliant balanced fund. As I explained, iGrowth is more conventional. But then for Iman, also it's very volatile because if we look at the graph in terms of comparison with iGrowth, for Iman is more volatile in the sense that we are holding very few securities here, which are actually halal and performing well. So since December 2024, it has gone up by 33.13%, which is a really good return if we're looking at a fund like Iman. It's the second best performing fund. And this is a really good trajectory in the sense that the return has been good so far. And we project that it's going to go up. This is because of the performance of the equities in the market. And not only the fact that it's holding equities, you're also holding Sukuks. So even if there's going to be a downside in equities, we are going to park most of our money as well in Sukuk. We mentioned that 51.7% of the fixed deposit, we're going to allocate it in the CIDB Sukuk that was recently closed. So if once the October fund fact sheet comes out, you'll see at the allocation that most of the investment has been parked in the Sukuk.
Okay, thank you very much, Marianne. And we have someone who would like to know the procedure of them wanting to invest in equities using funds already vested in iCash. So they're asking, can I simply email the dealing team to purchase shares in a specific company using my iCash balance?
Yeah, so as of now, what we'll do, you'll have to request us for a redemption first. You can easily go through the portal as Amin explained. You're going to redeem the amount that you'd require from iCash. And then because settlement is T+3, the same way in equities, you can proceed and issue instructions to buy shares. Once you've received the payment, now you can be able to cater for the amount that you've bought in the shares.
Thank you, Marianne. Frank, would you like to add something?
I think Marianne has covered it well.
Yeah, after that, they're free to now email dealing with instructions, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. And then while we have you, Frank, is it possible for someone to see his or her portfolio on the stocks, even if iTrust is not their broker?
Yeah, you can have access to your statement and it will show all your holdings. Any kind of trading that you're doing, it will still be reflected with iTrust. We're just not in the mobile trading app of DAC, but any trade that you're doing, it should be able to be reflected in your holding statement. So yes, it will be reflected.
Thank you very much, Frank. I think that concludes our session for today. We would like to sincerely thank everyone for taking the time to join us on today's session. We appreciate your questions every time because that means that you're fully invested and are following the iTrust journey. That being said, we would like to wish you a great afternoon, or it's almost evening now. And yes, so we'll see you at the next investor call. Again, we encourage you to stay up to date through our emails and social media. And yes, thank you so much.